Hey everybody, it's Heather. I just moved, so forgive the mess in the back. This is eventually going to be an office. But because I just moved, of course, my family were trying to find some local doctors to get our yearly physical exams and all that good stuff. And for my son, it's been a little over a year, and for me, it's been way too long, probably 2 years or maybe 3. I don't even know. And so I called around and I found I looked for a DO as opposed to an MD because there's a potential that they're a little bit more holistic, although nowadays the DO schools are quite similar to MD schools, and I know because my husband went to a year of DO school. Anyways, I called and I didn't even think about making an appointment for my son. It was a family practitioner though, and I said, I just want you to know I need to find out if it's going to be a problem that I am religiously opposed to vaccines and certain other procedures because I'm a Messianic Jew. And if it's going to be an issue, I'd rather know now and I'll just find another doctor. And she was like, let me check. And she came back and she was like, are you going to homeschool? And I said, well, I wasn't even thinking about my son, honestly, but does he see children? And she said, yes. And I said, well, I'm homeschooling anyway. I don't know what the laws are in Texas, but in Florida we had a religious exemption. I got it from the health department. Well, there's not anything like that in Texas, she says. Now, she could be completely unaware, and I wasn't certain at the time, and I said, well, I homeschool anyway, because I do, and it's very important to me, and my son is very blessed to be able to be homeschooled, and I'm very blessed to be able to homeschool him. And so she was like, well, no, we won't lecture you. You just really need to know that you're going to have to homeschool in Texas if you do that. Now, immediately afterward, I thought, okay, I'm going to look up the Texas laws. And it took me a total of about 2 minutes, probably less, to go to Google and write in Texas religious exemption or vaccine waiver. And I came up with a website, www.dshs.state.tx.us. Anyway, it's the Department of State Health Services, okay, for Texas. And it gives you a lot of information, immunization requirements. I printed this out so as to very politely educate the woman at the doctor's office. But there is a chapter 97.62 of the Texas Administrative Code that states conditions under which individuals can seek exemptions from Texas immunization requirements. They are allowable on an individual basis for medical contraindications, reasons of conscience, which Florida doesn't even have that, including a religious belief, and active duty with the armed forces of the United States. So there is a religious waiver. Apparently the process is a little more intricate than Florida. You have to renew it every 2 years, but it's similar. You go to the health department, you get a form. So I found that on a couple of websites, and so I'm just going to print this out and politely hand it to her and say, I just want you to know, in case you get any more phone calls, this is what the code is, so you'll be aware that you can tell them. It's a painful process. It's not, simple, but it is a possibility. Instead of just saying, well, you have to homeschool. No, you can't do that. Now, I just wanted to let you all know that, and so have a great day and realize that, don't believe everything someone says. Doctors have very strict guidelines that they need to go by in order to keep their license. And they've got to look out for themselves or they're not going to be able to practice medicine anymore. So you have to look out for yourself. You have to look up the laws. If you're in a different state, look up the laws in your state. Have a number, the little chapter 97.62. Print it out and bring it and say, hey, whatever. So hopefully everything will go well. My son's going to get a physical, and I'm going to get a physical and some blood work, and because I now have insurance, which is like insane. So anyway, have a wonderful day and realize that not everything is what it seems. Okay. And one more thing. Really, seriously, back to the Messianic thing. If you follow the Torah, it's pretty clear. If you read, a couple chapters in the Leviticus, vaccinations are not kosher. And even if you're a Christian, if you really look into the words of Yeshua, that's his real name, by the way. If you really look into his words, then he is clear that, he is not here to destroy the laws. He did remove the curse of the Torah, but the curse of the Torah was the constant animal sacrificing, not the whole Torah. The Torah is really there to protect us. It's not a curse. It's not a burden. There's a lot of really good health information in there. So, such as, the pigs, this don't touch dead pigs, and there's pig DNA in many of the vaccines, also aborted fetal cells. If you believe in the sanctity of life, whether you're Messianic or Catholic or whatever, then you should be opposed to abortions for that. Now, if you're in the military or if you go to the doctor and you say that that is a religious belief, then they will say, no, it's not, it's an ethical problem, not a religious problem. But for me, following the Torah, it's definitely a religious problem over and over and over again. I mean, it's very clear. So, I'm a Messianic. Seventh-day Adventists also don't get vaccinated. I'm not sure about Jehovah's Witnesses, but I think that is also a religion. Comment below. I know they don't do blood transfusions, nor would I. So, just some little info for you in case you're wondering which religions. But don't lie about it, We need to stand up. But if you're interested, check out the Torah. Read Leviticus. It's really it's crazy, especially if you have a health degree, because you'll realize that you'll understand like the science behind it, like why they cut the animals this way and why you're not supposed to touch this and why you handle leprosy in this way, and it actually makes a lot of sense, and it's miraculous that they had that knowledge back then before we had, microscopes and DNA testing. So, okay, God bless.